Hello everyone! Welcome. I'm Isaac Umbras, and today we are back in Gran Turismo 3. Welcome, Ponty. Hope you're doing well today. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome, Show BG. Welcome everyone that's coming in. We've got a lot to get done, but we're still gonna do well here. We got a lot of racing to do with these open wheelers, and I think it is going to be a very exciting race. We got our V10 machine right here, and we got our first city street circuits course of the championship. Mega dive by the champ. The Check the Replay channel. Guys saw that. A lot of engine blows. We're going for that record there. Holy moly. Hopefully you're able to get, the record without too many more engine blows. You seem to go through a lot of engines as well. I don't know how you manage to do that. But it is what it is. Anyway, let's push. Big push now up into the lead. Let's see if we can't maintain it. Alright, we got a 40 lap race, the same length as the Seattle circuit, 100 miles. Oh gosh, very tight, very technical. This is where the later 90s higher downforce cars will work. Racing started drawing the FNAF Metatronics. Yeah, you see some of them kind of have like the more kind of friend shapes, but underneath have a very pointy, very angular body. But it is still very cool, very well made character designs by Scott for making that kind of, this could reasonably pass off as, an animatronic, a friendly children's, animatronic. But it still looks very off-putting and everything. Okay, I'm a little bit annoyed with their dives. What about the FNAF 2 movie? Also, you can just write your messages in the full sentence. You don't need to kind of send it in two parts. You can send it in one part. I'll read the full part when I get the chance to. Leaves me a little bit less of a cliffhanger, and a little bit less of a lull. I can kind of carry on the discussion a little bit, instead of kind of waiting for the second half and trying to kind of circle back around to that and everything. But yeah, the character models and everything like that. Especially the first game was really good. Like he did a really good job of making like those characters seem very like they could very well be animatronics and everything like that, where it was kind of like a janky lower budget, so it's designed to be kid friendly, but like in certain lighting makes it very creepy. It's actually a little bit better than the first one. Ah, okay, that's good. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear they're kind of making improvements and everything. How is having the animatronics be voiced instead of just making noises? How was that? Because I know, for example, like MatPat voices Toy Bonnie and everything. So how much did the animatronics actually talking, play into that? There we go, nice and smooth with the chicane. We're starting to pull up a little bit of a gap. Starting to pull up a little bit of a gap, so we can really push now. As those pizzas are ass. I've never had them, but I'll take your word for it. And imagine a pizzeria that has, you know, a lot of bad juju around and everything. Probably makes the food taste a little bit sour as well. Welcome, Petra, I hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Right now, we are in round 2 of 10 for the Formula Gran Turismo World Championship. And we are in Seattle, the west coast of the United States. The rainy city, the thankfully always dry in the Gran Turismo games. This is very, very, very nice. Honestly, it feels good to drive in an open wheel car. Like I wasn't expecting that, but like it genuinely, like with the exception of the jump section here. The jump section here actually is only the bad part. The rest of it's fairly fine. Speed! Alright, good stuff here. Very good stuff. But let's see how much further we can, let's see how much further we can, do this. 4, 3, 2. There we go. Man, we got lots of speed, lots of maneuverability here. This is the good stuff. Like I do like racing open wheelers in this game. Oh no, not Jeremy! Not the night guard, Jeremy! Ah, rip. Oh well. I guess it'd be difficult to kind of have like a different, you know, night guard every single time or whatever. And they might be doing like an alternate universe type of thing. Was the night guard the same guy as the previous movie? Or did I have just someone completely different do the night guard stuffs? Yeah, we are absolutely tearing through here. Maybe we can get the lap 10. I think we can get the lap 10. The rears are starting to get just a little bit cooked. But we're getting more and more acquainted with the track itself. So honestly, I think we should be mostly fine. Yeah, same Mike Schmidt. Okay, so they're probably just telling it more so from like his perspective and everything. So I mean, that kind of makes a little bit more sense, I guess. So I take it then that it's not actually a prequel, but instead is like an actual direct sequel to the first one, potentially. That'd be interesting. So they're kind of changing the canon just a little bit, basically making it like an alternate universe. There we go. The smoothness. Yeah, we're doing pretty good actually here. I like how you can see heading into turn 1, the Space Needle just off in the distance and everything. Very, very nice. Just so they know, Yes, this is indeed Seattle. But no, like for the most part, like this track is very well designed. Gives you that kind of like elevation of like the West Coast mountainous region and everything like that. It really kind of gives you that kind of semi-grungy, but still, you know, fun vibes and everything. It's cool. Like I definitely like this a lot. But I kind of prefer the more traditional street circuits of like Rome and Tokyo. But like this isn't bad. Like it has a lot of good character. It just kind of falls apart a little bit when you get into faster vehicles like this. But that's alright, because we are still gonna push. We are still gonna absolutely push to the limits. Boop, boop. Okay, so I think we can definitely make it to lap 10. So if we get to lap 10, we could probably do a 3-stop strategy, 4 stints. That might be the best way to do it. Okay, so this is probably gonna be around a 50... probably close, yeah, probably 50-ish minutes. Race. But we can do that. Welcome, Jade. I had to apologize to my neighbor last night. I celebrated screams that morning. What were you celebrating? Oh gosh, that was terrible, Isaac. That was terrible. But what were you celebrating? Oh wait, were you celebrating the Lando Norris win? The championship win. Yeah, GG to him. I'll fully admit. Well, I was kind of hoping Max would win and do the funny thing, get the 5 in a row like Schumacher. You know, it is still very, very, very cool to see Lando win it. GG on his part. GG on his part for sure. Big props to that. Big props to him. My favorite part is the Fast Talk Radio. Freddy meme. It's like they combine the Freddy laugh with the Toreador march. Oh! Okay, maybe 10 laps is a little bit pushing it. 10 laps might be pushing it. The rears are absolutely dying. Bono, my tires are gone. Bono! Bono! Okay, yeah, 10 laps might be pushing it. I gotta be a little bit cautious. I might just kind of have to short shift. I think it's still faster to 3-stop it. Because if you go 1 lap a little bit sooner, you gotta 4-stop it instead. And I ain't about that. Although last lap I did lose a full like 5 seconds, and then this lap I'm losing even more. I laughed at every time I reminded about the internet floating with all the Lando haters. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was definitely rooting for Verstappen to win, just because of the annoyance with the papaya rules itself. More so McLaren than either of the 2 McLaren drivers. But yeah, no, like GG though to Lando. Good stuff, man. He put on a good fight. So like I was kind of hoping. It would have been cool if we finished, like, I don't know. Either way, it was a good race. It was a genuinely pretty solid race. I feel bad for Yuki, though. I really hope, like, this isn't the end of Yuki's racing career. I'd love to see him maybe in, like, IndyCar. That would be really cool. I've actually had this discussion a little bit with a couple of my, IRL friends and everything. But I'm thinking, with Red Bull having such a backlog of, like, their driver development program and everything, and with them going through drivers like absolutely crazy, right? I think honestly having an IndyCar team may actually be beneficial to Red Bull, as you do have some drivers like Yuki Tsunoda who do have the Honda ties and everything, would allow them to get, you know, potential partnership with the Honda engines for IndyCar. Be great marketing for Red Bull within the United States. It would be great to boost the marketing of IndyCar as well. Seeing like an actual F1, you know, an F1 team alongside McLaren racing in, you know, IndyCar alongside like F1 prospects or F1 hopefuls, or even, you know, more F1 drivers as well would be really awesome. Yeah, poor. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for Lewis and Charles Leclerc. Like, at the end of the day, I am a pretty big Ferrari fan. Ferrari and Williams are like my main go-to. But like, it is pain. It is pain. But yeah, like honestly, like with Red Bull's massive like driver development backlog and everything, having an IndyCar like team would be the perfect way to do that, as that would allow them to train not just drivers but like other like staff, and would allow them to use some of that money that they can't spend on the cost cap towards, because IndyCar still does allow for some level of development with things like setup, as well as being able to develop your own suspension. Like that would be, you know, that would be at least somewhat tangential towards F1. Allow them to get more track data and everything. All that stuff. I think honestly, like it would benefit Red Bull probably the most of all the not like F1 teams that aren't currently in IndyCar. Like I genuinely think that would benefit Red Bull, because you could have, you know, a dedicated training and everything for like up and coming staff members and everything. It's just the Ferrari attitude that tears the team apart. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm really sad for Ferrari though, because I was like, I remember when they released like Mostly Competent and everything during the 2000s, and just to see it completely kind of collapse within like a decade is pain. Like Vettel was putting in the work to really try to bring them back. Alonso too, honestly, but Alonso wasn't really there as much for the hybrid era, where they really kind of fell off the wagon. So I'm really hoping that like they're able to, you know, get their shit together. On the other hand, though, I am genuinely proud of my Williams boys. Like, holy moly. Seeing Williams go, getting, you know, podiums, getting consistent points, everything like that. Like, holy moly. Go Williams. They are like up there again, and I'm so happy for them. Like the hybrid era years, a lot of their high finishing positions were mainly just due to the fact that the Mercedes powertrain was just so good. But like you don't have that excuse anymore. Like this is genuine, like Williams actually doing really well. And I am so happy about that. Like, my gosh. The strategy calls, the great driving from both Albon and Sainz and everything. Like, it is top notch. You see exactly when they started going down here in 2014. Yeah. Sainz getting almost more podiums than the entire Ferrari team. Yeah. Gosh, that is amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely, truly. Like, I mean, that is a redemption arc as well. And then Albon as well, after getting kind of the boot from Red Bull, with getting bullied by Lewis during the Mercedes dominance years. finally coming back and also getting some serious points playing positions as well. Like, they just, this just, I'm so happy for my boys. My boys. Now, honestly, if I could see a Williams Constructors or Drivers Championship in my lifetime, I would die a happy man, because I think all the Williams Constructors and Drivers titles, all the Williams Constructors and Drivers titles happened before I was born, I think. Yeah, but like I wanna see them go for it again. Hey, if McLaren, an engine customer team, can beat Mercedes, I would absolutely love to see Williams, you know, go for it one year. Mercedes dominance. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, a decade of pain. For real, like, holy moly. Please, inject it straight into my veins. I mean, they were on the right trajectory. It's a shame that the regulation is going to be changing because I'm a little bit scared. I am a little bit scared that the regulations are going to completely, like, result in a complete amount, like, massive amount of dominance when the cars are finally pretty close, actually. I'm really hoping that the new regulations don't result in, like, one or two teams just like absolutely curb stomping everyone else. I'm really hoping that like they really, you know, they thought it through. But yeah, I'm still happy for like what they got though. Like from seeing them be like a complete backmarker team to like them regularly fighting for like regularly being in the points and occasionally fighting for podiums is like holy nuts. Every team is starting from scratch next year, so there's no telling what happens. Maybe Williams produce an absolute rocket ship. We get a 5-way battle for constructors. maybe, I don't know. I am a little bit scared. But like, I don't know. I think I'm hoping that the teams are able to all kind of get the regs down and be fairly close on pace. I know early in the downforce, the ground effect era, it was kind of pretty much Red Bull being like an absolute rocket ship. But like now, genuinely, like you have realistically probably four maybe 5 teams that could regularly fight for the front. And like you could say like, yeah, they are podium contenders without someone, you know, looking at you like you got like, you know, 20 heads. You know, it's not like the memes of the late 2010s of the hammer bots. Well, it's pretty much the Red Bull and Mercedes show. Also some sim footage and the straights look absolutely terrifying on Bahrain. Yeah! Bahrain is a very, very high speed track. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend you watch the WEC races there as well. Because the multi-class there is top notch. You have prototypes snaking through GT3s. And all of them, you know, all in their own battles. And with that as well, you get to see the cars during the daytime as the sun's setting, and then later on at night when the lights are on, and holy moly, at night, those cars, the liveries on those cars, they almost become like fluorescent, like they just pop. Like, it looks so good. Like, honestly, Bahrain, like, while it's great for open wheel racing, I almost kind of prefer it for endurance racing. Because, like, it's a track that lends itself very well to multi-class racing. And, like, I would love to see, like, I really enjoy seeing, like, that type of stuff on that track. It's the same thing with Yas Marina, believe it or not. It's not the best for open wheel racing, though the new changes have resulted in a couple of bangers. So maybe that'll change. But like, it is genuinely a very, very good endurance track. Like if you watch like the Golf 12 Hours and everything, like it is genuinely a very good endurance racing track. And then, of course, when the Aussie Supercars raced there in the 2010s, those like it was good for touring car racing too. It wasn't the best for open wheel racing. Snap over to the Plagues AMS2. Was doing a race in 05. Endurance Silverstone last lap as I was braking tuning. Yeah. I don't know enough about AMS2 to kind of solve that problem, but there might be some tire wear as well. Maybe move the brake bias a little bit further forwards as the stint goes on and the car gets lighter. That might genuinely help you. That might genuinely be the way to do it. Yeah, so around 50 minutes, 50 minutes for this first race. Gosh. This is gonna be a long championship. Alright, let's get going. Second half of the race, let's go. What cars are these? So these are semi-fictionalized, or at the very least, basically right around the trademarks versions of open wheel Formula One race cars from the 80s and 90s. So the way you take a look at the code, because the cars are kind of written in like an alphanumeric code, right? So basically, and that's why I also titled the stream Winning Formula, because these are Formula Racers. Basically, the F stands for Formula Racer. The next number is either a 0 or a 6. If it's a 0, it's a naturally aspirated V10. If it's a 6, it's a turbocharged V6. Followed by two numbers. That is the championship year that car raced in. So, for example, an 88 will be from 1988, a 94 will be from 1994, a 90 will be from 1990, and then a dash SM or sentimental or I forget who else. But basically that dash and then the letter is basically the driver of that car. So for example, I'm driving the F094-M, right? So that means I am driving the V10 Formula One race car that Nigel Mansell drove in 1994, which I believe is a Williams. I think it's a Williams. Pretty sure it's the Williams. Which then means it would be based off of the FW14B, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, this is a 1994 Formula One car V10, very, very high downforce, very high grip. The V6 cars have a little bit more power, but the V10 cars, because they're newer, have a much more advanced aerodynamics. But both of them, for the most part, are around equal in pace in this game. You can win the championship with pretty much any of the cars. And it is, yeah. But it's cool. I also prefer the naturally aspirated versions, just because, to my knowledge, they receive less of a power penalty when your oil gets bad. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. What it seems like, though, with the 2026 reg, it tells the car is going to be, yeah, a lot less downforce over the rear. Much smaller, shorter wheelbase cars, too, so that is going to... Can you not ram me into the wall as you melon? That's going to be a very interesting, Some drivers are probably going to excel at that. Like, I imagine Verstappen's probably going to do fairly well, given the fact that he likes his vehicle to be very twitchy, very kind of on the limits. And then some drivers may really struggle. Like, I imagine Lewis is probably going to struggle quite a bit with those regs, given the fact that he prefers a vehicle that is very kind of planted, very kind of neutral. That's why the Mercedes was such a long wheelbase car during the hybrid era and everything, with a low rake. It was basically, you know, stability over anything else. But yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping the teams are pretty close together. I'm hoping the Cadillac does really well too. I want to see my American teams do well as well. Oh gosh, that was actually our fastest lap. So hate it for Lewis. You can't even tell he stands tight the most. I mean, that's the way things go though. People rise, people fall. Different team, you know, different teams begin excelling or struggling. Certain drivers do well in certain eras, but can't, you know, fully adapt. People get older and slower as well. Heck, I mean, if you look at Vettel closer to the end of his career, while I'm a Vettel simp, you know, he struggled. He struggled a lot in the high downforce V8 era that he dominated in. And it's a bit of a shame. Granted, Ferrari also absolutely broke that poor man. But yeah. Just wonder how the rookie Asmon's gonna fit next season. Oh, Alonso? Yeah, I know. Hopefully he does well. He's the one that's been consistently pretty like solid as a driver. Though it's hard to tell just because sometimes he gets stuck with the absolute worst cars. So it's hard to really see how good he was in like certain eras versus others. It is going to be interesting to see how a Newey run, like not a Newey design, but like a Newey run team designs a vehicle. That's gonna be interesting for sure. I'm kind of excited, but I'm also kind of scared. But I mean, if there's anyone that would manage to exploit the loopholes and really kind of, you know how to build an aerodynamic monster, given fresh regulations, Nui is probably the guy to do that. Probably. Oh gosh. I will say today I was working outside for the most part today on an integration motor pool, and today here in this beautiful mid-Atlantic state, Maryland, my love, it got into around -3 Celsius. It got very, very, very cold. Through this season, we're gonna see Adrian Newey fire from Massimo trying to fire Lance Stroll. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, dang, dude. I don't know. I always kind of had high hopes for Lance, but like at this stage, he sometimes just completely turns his brain off, and I don't know what he's thinking. Like I don't know what he's thinking. He just does a silly. There we go, nice and smooth through here. Alright, so far so good actually. Although we are at 130 miles already for the vehicle in pretty much 2 races. Not even 2 races, so we're going to be spending the vast majority of this championship with that oil light on. We're going to probably have over 1,000 miles. Thereabouts. On the engine by the time we're done. Maybe it's so bad if we're just happening for mistakes. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Hill. Phil Hill. Right. Hill Sentimento, I think. Wait, Phil Hill or Damon Hill? Damon Hill, right? Damon Hill. Damon Hill. Did I really say Phil Hill? Damon Hill. That was me being silly. And completely getting 2 drivers, granted father and son, mixed up. But yeah, the letter at the very end is the driver of that car. The supposed driver of that car anyway. We're doing solidly here. Alright. It's coming up a lap. We're going to be pitting for the final time this race. Holy moly as well. This is... These races are going to be real tests of endurance. Really, really making us absolutely push it to the limit here. We got this, chat. We're putting in lap after lap. Really, really extending the gap. That's kind of cool though, basically turning the last championship into a championship of like endurance races and everything. Where you finally get to drive pretty much the fastest vehicles in the game. By a considerable margin too. And just the sheer The speed of these cars is absolutely just top notch. Also feel bad for the F2 drivers right now. Imagine winning F2 championship trying to get F1 with all the teams. Yeah, that's why honestly, like, I think it would benefit a lot of F1 teams to have like an IndyCar team as well, for where they can put like graduated F2 drivers in, get more experience racing at a full-on like top level professional level, and you know, still that if not IndyCar, like Super Formula would do really well as well. Like have those types of have that type of racing be available, and have like those teams like invest in like those series. So that would be a great way to really kind of, you know, give these drivers still a career in open wheel racing and keep them in your academy. You could, you know, get additional data from like different tracks, or just, you know, begin building up you know, strategists and all that stuff as well, team principals. That way you're also, you know, maybe not necessarily starting from scratch. You get a little more flexibility, especially with the cost caps and everything. That gives them the capability to do that. Ferrari kind of has their GTP program, right? Cadillac will probably also have their GTP program as well. McLaren has IndyCar. That'd be a great place to kind of, you know, invest in talent. Red Bull could very easily have, you know, field an IndyCar team. Cool to see other teams take a senior F3 driver and grandfather them into a seat of Formula. Yeah, exactly. Like, that would be super cool. I know, it just seems like right now, like there's kind of a bit of like a massive backlog of drivers, where everyone's, and it's a shame too, because you're riding the hype, like you're training since, you know, you're a kid for this, you know, you're you know, potentially hyped up as, you know, someone to watch out for, someone to really, you know, keep an eye out for. And you know, you win Formula 2, you're like, yes, this is my chance to, you know, get the big shot. And then like there's just no seats for you in Formula 1. You're like, well, shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Or in the same token, imagine finally getting to F1 and seeing like the massive line of like very highly skilled F2 drivers behind you as well. And you're like, well, dang, how do I keep my seats? Because I am trying to basically get fully used to this entirely new environment at a much higher level of speed, where like now all eyes are on me, and every last mistake is like heavily scrutinized by like the press, by pundits, and everything like that. Yeah, all these drivers finally make it, only for the market to be flooded. Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel bad for them, which is honestly why it would be smart for a lot of these teams to invest in like another series as well. Be it like either endurance racing or like IndyCar or Super Formula, something that is either open wheel or open wheel adjacent at like a top level of motorsports. That way these people can really kind of get a chance to show their craft, shine, and further develop their skills as well, instead of just either being relegated to being a test driver, or you know, kind of trying to figure out where the heck they want to go now, or where they're even able to go now. Heck, even Formula E would be a great spot for them to kind of, you know, test that out. Like, I know does Mercedes still have a Formula E team? I think they do. Oh, let's see if they can try their hand at Twinker Racing, see how that goes. Maybe, although that'd be a lot more difficult given the fact that the vast majority of these teams are backed more so by like sports car manufacturers and everything. And so staying within like the same kind of like driver development program would it would require some very interesting shenaniganry. McLaren can kind of get away with using Honda in IndyCar just because McLaren and Honda have gone way back. But like, and like Red Bull could probably do touring car racing, so heck, they do sponsor teams in DTM, and Rallycross and pretty much like everything else except for IndyCar for some reason. They even tried their hand at NASCAR. But like basically you have the Red Bull team, the Haas, and Williams, because now Sauber is going to be Audi. I guess you could have Audi, you know, touring cars. I guess that could work. I guess that could work. But yeah, like it's I wouldn't want to be in a position to pretty much like any of like the non like top of the line F1 drivers or up and coming prospects. I mean, Red Bull does sponsor some of the V8 Aussie supercars. And they sponsor like one, I forget which team it is, but they got ties to like one of the big teams over there. So that's not too out of the question. But the thing with that, then you also run the risk of then flooding those markets with the open wheel drivers as well, and then that kind of hurts the other feeder series and the potential for like, you know, drivers that don't have ties to open wheel racing for getting in and going to the grid. It's tough. There's just so many very solid drivers, and just there ain't enough seats. Add to that like pay drivers as well, and like the politics and everything of the sport get very interesting very quickly. Alright, we got a little bit of traffic ahead. But we can get through it. We can manage it. Oh, that's actually the leader. That is actually the leader. Bruh. That is actually the leader of the race. That is second place, or not the leader. That is second place. I'm gonna see so many Italian gearing drivers, but I hate that they are kind of just in limbo. Yeah, I know. Like it's rough. It is so rough. I mean, it's hard to be a racing driver. You can be genuinely a very good like top 5% driver, but you need to be basically a top 1% driver, either financially or like skill-wise, probably a little bit of both, to really even have a shot. It's tough. It's tough. It is so tough to actually, you know, be a good, you know, become a professional racing driver. There is so much that goes into it. I guess it's the same thing with like either streaming or just kind of, you know, the kind of high desirability career fields anyway. Is for a lot of that, a lot of it comes down to hard work, talent. Pretty much a big combination of all of that. And either you get in or you don't. I should ride my last stroll. I know I can still beat my ass in a race. Yeah. Like, I'd be absolutely terrified to drive an F1 car full tilts. Honestly, believe it or not, open wheelers are not my forte. I mainly, my main skill in The Sims is things like touring cars and like GT style vehicles. Open wheelers, I've tried my hand at. I can be okay in a race, but like, I'm not particularly like quick. Level up open wheelers, I can probably be okay in. Like Formula V's, Formula 4's, Formula Fords. All of those I can be reasonably, you know, competitive with. But as the numbers start going down and the cars get quicker and quicker, I just can't quite keep pace. Same with the prototypes as well. I struggle in prototypes so hard. Like you put me in a TCR car, and in the vast majority of races and everything, against even people that have been doing, you know, sim racing for decades, I can pretty consistently put the car on the front row in qualifying. But holy moly. Yeah, the fast to high downforce stuff I struggle with so much. I think I'm better suited to vintage cars and Uni GTs. Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely prefer GT4s over GT3s as well. Lower downforce. Still a good amount of mechanical grip though. Alright, we're coming up to the last lap. Final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Big push to the finish line. Let's see if we can't win the Seattle Grand Prix. I wonder what the next race is. We had one permanent racetrack with Midfield Raceway. Then we had Seattle, which is a city street track. I wonder where the next one is gonna be. Go. Like I love the Genetta G40s. Base. Those are fun to drive. So nice when you got to the corner right and your rear is just ever so slowly poking out. Yeah. Yeah, that is always fun. Just being able to kind of, you know, slide the vehicle, but like just ever so slightly, like a slight drift. Always super cool. Victory! I like how the race, it's almost an hour long. It gives us 30,000 credits. $30,000. Oof. Sorry, not Hill. So yeah, this is Grand Valley. Okay, 27 laps. But I mean, it is a long course, so we will see. I know the oil light's gonna come on this race as well. So permanent circuits, street circuits, and then back to another permanent circuit. This one definitely feeling very much like a full-on Grand Prix course, especially matching the time period that these vehicles are from. This feels very much like it could be a Formula 1 course from the 90s up until, like, you know, the late 2000s. Alright, there we go. Up into second place. There we go. Clean air. Clear air. Into the mountain. I gotta be careful with this track. It does eat through the left side tires. Just a little bit. Mainly for the high-speed tunnel corners. As well as the final turn and turn 2. They don't really have a whole lot that wears the right side. So the left side will definitely wear a little bit quicker than the right side. But we got this. Reaching almost 210 before the braking zone. Very rapid, very high speed. Oh boy. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. Alright, we got this. Nice and smooth through the corners. I want to see how long we can go in the tires before the first pit stop. Because that'll affect how many pit stops we do and how long this race takes. But so far, we only got through 27 laps. So, that's not too bad. The track itself is fairly high speed. You do have some technical sections, but you're able to stretch the vehicle's legs as well. So this may actually be somewhat quicker than the Seattle race. We will have to tell. We will have to see. We will have to see. Alright, not too bad. I do want to try to conserve the tires just a little bit. The fact that we are already in the yellow midway through lap 3 is moderately concerning. But I mean, Grand Valley is also a very high degradation track. So while I might be suffering, I think the rest of the field is probably also suffering on that front. It just has so many long, high-speed corners that even in a high downforce car like this, it just munches through the tires. You gotta be a little bit careful with that. Gotta be just a little bit cautious. Alright, still in the yellow, so that's not too bad actually. If it kind of stays and hovers around the yellow for a little while, then we might be able to get to We'll have to see, we'll have to see. If we go to 5, we'll have to pit 5 times. If we go to 6, we only have to pit 4 times. If we go to 7, we only gotta pit 3 times. And if we go to 9, we only gotta pit 2 times. I don't think we'll go all the way to 9. But I'm gonna try to at least get to 7. 8 is also a 3 times pit. Sorry. Yeah, 3 times pit. 6 is a 4 times pit. So that crossover point is right around like lap 6, lap 7. So I'm gonna try to go to 7, as that is when we start getting a little bit more of the diminishing returns, I think. Yeah, tires are still in the regular yellow. Lap times are still very consistent. This is probably one of my more consistent tracks, where I can just kind of, you know, get a lot of like the same lap times, lap after lap. Here, Apricot, just a very kind of fast flowing tracks. I can really, you know, consistently put the rubber down where I need it to be. Alright, yeah, tires are starting to fall off a little bit. They're starting to get just a little bit orange, but it's not too bad right now. Like right now, this is manageable, I think. Alright, come on. Keep it smooth. There we go, lap 5 complete. We still got good tires. Oh, that was actually a surprisingly quick lap too. Despite the tires feeling like they're falling off. They're actually holding on pretty well, even in the later life. So yeah, I think we could probably go 2 more laps on these tires. Oh gosh, spicy. A little bit spicy on exit. A little bit of an off track. We're good. We're good. I think we're good anyway. We're probably good. The car doesn't feel that much more difficult to control. It's a little bit understeery, but I prefer the car to evolve that way than become like extra twitchy late race. This is more than manageable. Yeah, this is definitely manageable. We can do another lap. So yeah, seven laps is the key. Three pit stops, 4 stints. We got this. Yeah, okay. Our first 130. So yeah, this is a lot to call us in. So we pit in lap 8 instead of lap 7. We still got to pit 3 times, and it just moves it to lap 8, lap 16, lap 24 instead of lap 7, lap 14, lap 21. So yeah, this is the one. And that means we're gonna actually pit 1 less time than them because they are pitting before the cutoff point. And they're all pitting at the same time. Damn. Okay. That's a very silly maneuver from them. As while we may lose a second or 2 total, we save so much time by cutting out a single pit stop. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it, you know? Alright, we're putting this lap. Into the pits. Let's go. And we're out of the pits. Back on fresh rubber, ready to hit the track again. Chrysler. Like how they have the PT Cruiser in this game. That is like the only Chrysler car as well. Nothing else, just the PT Cruiser. Like, damn, okay. That is certainly a choice. To be fair, that is one vehicle I have actually used in a playthrough of the game. It's an interesting vehicle. Very heavy, very understeery. I don't particularly like driving it. But it is what it is. Chrysler yes. It is funny seeing the Chrysler like branding. Same with Tick Forward, like TVR, like so many of these brands are like just no longer around. But we get to see them in Gran Turismo 3. Gosh. Chrysler! Magnelia Morelli! But it is funny seeing like TVR along like the side when TVR is gone. Tickford I don't think is a thing either anymore. Autobacks is still around. Lister is still around. So all those are still around. Volkswagen's still around. TOD's kind of ish around, although they kind of replaced with Gazoo Racing now. But I think TOD is still around for like the trucks and stuff. But like yeah, Tickford's gone. TVR is gone. It's just so strange. Alright, next pit stop. Next pit stop. Lap 14. Let's go. Big push. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the oil light. There's the genie. Make a wish, everybody. Gosh, that means we have to go through 7 races with the reduced performance. That is gonna be pain. That is going to be pain. That is going to absolutely be pain. Yes, there we go. Back again to the right. Full throttle out of there. Oh, we're making good progress as well. Like, dude, we should be done this in around like 40 minutes, I think. Which isn't too bad. Like the other one was around like an hour-ish. This one actually was fairly quick. But it seems to be fairly quick. So we will see. We will see. But yeah, you can definitely tell there's a little bit of a performance degradation. Love the meme out the Chrysler PT Cruiser, the Suzuki scooter part. Yeah, turning one of the slowest cars in the game into one of the quickest. But yeah. Put some downforce on that giant ass wing. Alright, we got this. We got this. Back again to the right. Come on, keep the speed going. Alright, not quite the fastest lap, but I would still take it. We're down a couple miles an hour now on the back straight, or down the home straight. I'm a little bit disappointed on that, so we are gonna have to really reduce the wing for the test course race. That one is gonna be hell, I think. But for the other ones, it shouldn't be too bad. Like we are still fairly handily winning these races. So I'm not too worried about the later stage of the game, the later stage of the championship. Like we should be fine. I think we should be more than fine. We'll probably be fine. Yeah, you can also see the car itself is getting a little bit dirty. The paint's kind of matte. It's kind of lost a little bit of its luster, a little bit of its shine. I mean, we put on a bunch of miles on this thing already. We're only going to be adding more. Like we're already up to almost 200 miles. 200 miles done into the championship. We still got a long way to go. Yep, they're all pitting on lap 12. They are going to be doing a 4-stop strategy. We are only going to be doing a 3-stop. So we should be okay, I think. Yeah, a little bit of tire degradation though. Starting to feel it. That's gonna hurt us, as we don't have the power to make up for it now. We are slightly lacking that power. Yeah, a little bit slower. All right, we're coming out into blue flag traffic. We should be able to catch them. We should be able to pass them without too much issue. But yeah, on the twistier tracks, the newer cars from the 90s are quicker than the older cars from the 80s. The added downforce really helps. The aerodynamic advancements in only just a couple of years, half a decade really, was more than enough to make the 90s vehicles a lot quicker, even without the turbocharger. And that is what we are doing here. Ow. Let's not do that, though. Hi. Alright, now let's move. Into the pits. There we go. Second of 3 stops. We're doing pretty good so far, I think. We'll be alright though. Big send. Alright, we got one more pit stop, 2 more stints to go. Let's absolutely send it. Let's see what we can do here. Gosh, we are getting, every lap, we're getting just a little bit closer to 100% completion. And I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. Oh gosh, alright. Spicy. But we're good now. We're good. Yeah, we're more than good. Alright, let's keep going. 1 more pit stop. 2 more stints. And then we only have 7 races left before we have 100% completed the game. I'm excited. I'm also a little bit melancholic as well because I don't know. I've beaten this game so many times, and it's a thrill each time you go through it, right? But as you get closer and closer to the end, you're like, oh, man, the ride's almost over, and it's I don't know. I feel sad. I feel even more sad this time as well because it means we're getting very close to well, the last stream, shall we say. It makes me a little bit sad. Like, I know it has to be done, obviously, because it's just not sustainable and everything, as much as I want to do it. But it's... oh, man. Like, I felt... when we got the last car to level 10 in enthusiast, that felt so surreal. Because that was a game that we had been... that was a game that we've been playing since, like, literally I started streaming. And it's crazy, you know, going back through the vehicles, remembering which vehicles kind of give you a little bit of trouble, which vehicles are really pleasant to drive and everything. Like the different eras as well when you're going through the cars. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. I don't know. Like I wasn't. wasn't expecting like the kind of get hit with the feels. But like when I saw like yeah we had fully done it. It felt strange, you know. So I had never done that before either. So being able to, you know, fully go through and see like every single vehicle had been, you know, leveled up to level 20, level 10. You know, the combination of it, like a lot of hard work. It's crazy to think about, and it's gonna be the crazy thing about it as well here with the Gran Turismo 3 streams, because with this, you know, kind of seeing the end result of, you know, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, getting all the golds and the licenses and everything, all the endurance races, you know, all the struggle of not getting the open wheeler cars, all of that stuff. I kind of get to see the journey play back, and it's crazy. The time I spent, you know, over an hour on a single license test. Yeah, it's insane. But I'm happy though. I'm happy. I'm happy to start a stream. I got to meet a lot of really cool people. I got to do a lot of really cool things that I probably never would have been able to do had I not done that. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm happy with what I was able to accomplish. I don't know. I feel good about it. All things considering, I feel genuinely pretty good about all of that. But anyway, enough sad, mopey stuff. Let's go chase down this back marker, get by them, and get back into getting clear air. Oh my gosh, I just realized, lap 16, we set a fastest lap yet. A 128. Absolutely based. There we go. Alright, they're pitting. Yep, lap 18, they're all pitting. We're not going to pit until lap 21. And then lap 24, they're going to be pitting. But we are not going to be pitting at all. Get dunked on, kids. Okay, a little spicy. Just a little bit. But we got this, chat. Full send. One more lap after this, then we get to change the tires again. And yeah, we're doing pretty good actually. We should probably get this done in, yeah, probably around 40 minutes. Thereabouts. That seems about right. Alright, let's do this. Only downside is we'll be getting back ahead of a lot of these back markers, only to end up losing the position to them again when we go to pit. We got this, chat. No problemo, no issues. I think we got time for one more race. I think we got time for one more race after this one. So yeah, we can get 3 done tonight, I think. Yeah, this is gonna be the pit lap. This is our in lap. Let's make it a quick one. Oh, he pushed way too deep into that corner. Into the pits, let's go. Whee. And let's go. Back out into the open. Ooh. That was a very kind of unsafe pit exit, I think, on my end. I kind of immediately joined the racing line. RPM does go crazy. I know, the crazy high revving Formula engines. Up to 16,000 RPMs. Crazy how high it goes. But you need that with how low a displacement the engines are, you know. You need the crazy high revs in order to get the big power. And holy moly, you get some big power with this. Final stint. I wonder what the next track is. I wonder what the next track is. That's gonna be the good question. What is gonna be the next race? Is it gonna be another street circuit? Is it gonna be a permanent circuit? We got a lot of options still, with 7 races to go. I know both Super Speedway and Test Course are options here. We will see. No issues so far, no problems. Yeah, 129, that's good, that's very solid. We got 4 more laps to go. Basically 6 minutes. And we get to see then what the next race is, because we'll have time to do that. We'll have time to do the one more race. Get up to then only 6 races left. I do wonder what track it is. We've had a very short track. We've had a moderate-sized city track. We've had probably one of the longest of the permanent road courses with Grand Valley. Granted, because the number of laps are so different, they've all kind of evened out to be around the same time. Around 40-ish minutes. So I'm thinking, regardless of what we get, it's going to be a fun track. It's going to be very fun. I do kind of hope it... Wait, is April Hill in the Formula Gran Turismo Championship? I didn't actually check that. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I know we still have Monaco, Test Course, Laguna Seca, Super Speedway. I know we still got those 4 guaranteed, with Monaco being guaranteed the last one. So then those other 3 can be made up of pretty much anything from Trial Mountain to Rome Circuit to Special Stage Route 11. I'm really hoping it's not Special Stage Route 11, but if it is, it is. Actually, I don't think it is. I don't think Special Stage Route 5 or Route 11 show up in the Formula Gran Turismo, because at the time, there had not been a Formula 1 night race. So I think, don't quote me on this, I think actually that we'll be free of both of those tracks. So again, don't quote me on that. But it'll be interesting to see. I think there's probably a high chance for Apricot Hill. It's probably the most standard of the Gran Turismo fictional circuits. Like, it feels very much like a standard kind of, racing track and everything like that. It's got great flow, though. It doesn't really have any gimmicks. It just drives very well. So I'm imagining, probably, that is going to be one of the tracks. I have a hunch that is probably going to be one of those tracks. Probably that. Tokyo is a good contender. Rome is a good contender. Because it gets the kind of world traveling vibe of, having like actual railroad street circuits and everything. Or at least, circuits based in the street circuits that are based in the real world. Even if they don't actually exist IRL, they could technically be created IRL. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. One more lap to go. Big push to the finish. I'm not sure we'll be able to catch second place. I'm gonna try though. I have been working hard. If I can lap second place, that'd be awesome. It's not like it's that far ahead. But gaining 6 seconds in a single lap is going to be very challenging. Especially as I am on worn tires. And they are on at least somewhat fresh tires. I'll probably be able to just see them heading onto the final straight. But I don't think I'll fully be able to catch them. Yeah, the lap time's staying fairly consistent. I don't think it's feasible. Yeah. Yeah, we're just barely able to see them ahead. Not enough. Not enough, though. Still. Not bad. Another 30 grand. I'm gonna probably have close to 10 million by the end of the end of the playthrough. Alright, final race. Final race of the night. What is it? Round 4. Super Speedway, okay. I can do this. This is gonna be quick, actually. We're basically doing IndyCar with Formula 1 cars. Based. Yeah, you thought. Oh, this is gonna be close. Cause they get the draft on us. And that's gonna make things. It's gonna make things very tough. Oh gosh. Yeah, they're gonna be very rapid. We're just gonna have to hope that we conserve our tires better than they do. Just use up more of the track. It's hard to just barely graze the brakes because they're so grabby. There we go. They're at least mostly out of slipstream distance now. Now we just gotta outlast them on tires. That is the one thing I am concerned about. Although we are pulling a gap, so hopefully their tires are more worn than ours. I think basically the lap after they pit, we are also gonna pit. I think that'll be the way to do it. Because pit strategy is key here. It is absolutely key. So far, so good. We are absolutely, we're steadily pulling away. Getting consistent laps in. Very quick laps too, I might add. The pit stops are gonna be what absolutely killer time. So if we can shave off even 1 or 2 pit stops, that is key. Okay, they're pitting now, and that's probably smart. That is probably smart. We still got one person staying out. And they are in the same car as I am. I'm not sure. I'm pitting. Good, they're pitting too. Is third place gonna pit? Yes, they are. Okay. Good. Alright, let's hope that our time loss. So we're pitting pretty much every 8 laps. So next time we pit is lap 16. We should come out ahead of them. Probably. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be very close. But we did it. We're out ahead. Downside is their tires up to temperature, ours are not. Thankfully here at Super Speedway they get up to temperature very quick because you're cornering at such a high rate of speed, high downforce and everything. Good stuff. Time to pull away now. So every 8 laps, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. So we're pitting 6 times? Yeah, we're pitting 6 times. Oh boy. Okay, that's fine. That's alright. That's alright. We can do this. We're absolutely taking the laps away. This is probably going to be the shortest race of the championship. So, I mean, you got to think that the 100 lap race here took a little over an hour. And I was in a slower car. We're in a much faster car, doing half the laps. We're already putting crazy mileage on our car, but that's besides the point. I'm gonna absolutely shred through this race. I'm not still gonna have enough time to do dishes solo. Okay, little bit bad line there. And it's gonna show in the time as well. 27, yeah, kinda figured. Alright. They're probably gonna pit this lap. I'm gonna have 2 laps then on them to pit. Oh, one of them's pitting. Only one of them's pitting. Okay. I guess them being all bunched up together earlier on caused a little bit more wear in their tires. So let's see. Alright, yeah, I'm pitting this lap. Tires are starting to fade. We are beginning to pull a gap, so I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna keep this strategy going. Okay, that is a car that is a lap down. Yep. Okay. Now we're in second. This goes to show how quick these laps are as well. They gotta be coming in. There they go. Perfect. So let's send it. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. No problems here. Oh, we're gonna get someone to get the suck off of. And we caught them in the corner. Not the best place to catch them. Still a fairly quick lap. I'll take that. Alright, approaching 40% done. Approaching 40% of the race distance. Nice, not bad. At this rate, we'll probably get this done before 30 minutes are up. They're thereabouts anyway, I think. So what's the next one? Probably lap 24, I think. Yeah, I think lap 24 is the next lap we are pitting. Because the previous one was lap 16. So yeah, we've been on these tires for a little bit. Actually, can you imagine how rubbered in the track is with this high tire degradation? Like, holy moly. You gotta be like absolutely putting, like just putting like a full like layer of rubber on. Alright, a little bit of a miss here. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, still in the 27, so we're good. Alright, we're pitting this lap. Under's just trying to get just a little bit spicy. But yeah, we are 10 seconds ahead of them now, so it's worthwhile to do it. It's worthwhile to do it. Alright, not bad. We should be out of there. We should be out of here before we get passed by them. Yes, we will. Okay. Lost just a little bit of time there. Not a whole lot of time. That's okay. I'm going to get some sleep. Alright, take care for it, Shelby. You have a great night as well. Hopefully I get to see you tomorrow. We'll be doing some burnouts. Gonna be doing some more races in burnout as well. And then later this week, Thursday, we'll be doing more crash mode. So that'll be fun too. Right now, holy moly. Gosh, it's a beautiful car. Yum. Nope, keep it off the grass. Keep it off the grass, Isaac. go. Alright, no problems so far, no issues. Yeah, we're good, we're good. We're pretty good, actually, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure we'll be getting this knocked out before even 30 minutes are up. So that'd be great. Alright, lap 32 is the next pit stop. We're approaching 60% done. Alright, good stuff. Ooh, a little bit of a tap, a little bit of a love tap on the wall. Good stuff. 60% complete. Yeah, we should be more than able to complete this race before the 30-minute mark. I'm excited. That means we only have 6 races left before we get completely through Gran Turismo 3. Yep, give me your suck. Passing and while entering the pit lane. Let's go. That was ballsy. Oh, he's giving me a good sniff. Hey, buddy. I want to see if we actually able to get out ahead of them. Okay, it is pretty much the same pit stops. I think we're actually just ever so slowly further ahead. So I will take that. Although Burr's gonna have the big suck off of me. Come around the corner. Not a bad lap there. Not too bad. Let's try to really put down some rubber. Get a little bit closer. This is going to be 70% complete. Holy moly! It's funny just how quickly you're able to complete the laps and everything in super speedway. It's the last time we get to race super speedway as well. This is the last time we're racing all these tracks. Like each time we see this track. This is like the farewell tour. So we say goodbye to Seattle, we say goodbye to Grand Valley, we say goodbye to Midfield Race. So this is our goodbye to Super Speedway. Holy moly. And we got 6 more tracks to say goodbye to. That's crazy to think about. That is crazy to think about. Alright, so what was it? 32, so lap 40. Lap 40 is when we're pitting next. Then 48 is the last lap we'll pit. I might try to go the extra 2 laps after 48. So yeah, I'm gonna pit the lap 41. That way I can kind of extend the pit stop just a little bit. I think we can get that. I think we can get that to work. I think we can get that to work. A little bit of a nudge. I'm not sure that's gonna work. We will see. We will see. Can we go lap 41? It's only 2 more corners, but the corners are half the lap. So we will see. I'm not too sure about that, chat. Yeah, that's kind of rough. We'll still make it work though. We'll still make it work though. All right, good stuff here. Good stuff here. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, let's see if we can go all the way to the end. I'm gonna try to be gentle in the car. Try to get just a little bit more grip. Try to just save the tires just a little bit. Can we go the final 10 laps without pitting? Probably. Probably. And then this is gonna be our last race of the night. 40% done. Final championship. 6 races to go, including 1 mega endurance, 78 laps at Monaco for the final race. That one's gonna be fun. That one is gonna be special. As that is gonna be the full length of an actual Monaco Grand Prix. I'm gonna be hyped for that. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be very hyped for that. Yes. Yes. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Just gotta steadily keep the vehicle nice and gentle around the corners. Tires are looking good. 4 laps to go. Not too much issues here. Two to go, two to go. Nice and gentle. Some of them have got to be pitting in. I see one of them in the pits. There's two of them in the pits. We're not going to be doing that though. Oh gosh. A little bit of understeer there. One more lap. Can we do it, chats? Can we do it? Use a little bit more of the brakes, use a little more of the throttle to get the car turned in. The fronts are absolutely dead. And across the line. Let's go. Ooh, that was a position change. Nice. Alright, let's save the game. I do want to see what the next race is, though, first, before we do anything else. But we did save. And I want to see what the next race is. What is the next race going to be? Rome. Okay, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. But yeah, I'm going to be ending the stream here. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, please make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Let me know down below in the comments down below. If you didn't like the stream, please let me know down below so you can fix that in the future. With that being said, I've been Umbras, and wherever you are in the world, whatever time that it is for you, may it be a great time, and I will see you all in the next stream. Until then, take care everybody. Bye bye!